Knox Guitar Box is an FMX production, created with the support of Flint Merrill Music and LeGrand Music Studios. Together, we're committed to celebrating the people, instruments, organizations, and stories that strengthen the guitar and music community throughout East Tennessee and beyond.
Hello and welcome back to Knox Guitar Box. I'm your host, Andy LeGrand, and I'm glad you've joined us. Today's guest is guitarist, composer, and educator Jay Manley. I've had the privilege of knowing Jay both personally and professionally for 2 years, and not only is he an exceptional musician, but also one of the most thoughtful and creative guitarists you'll ever meet. Jay teaches here at LeGrand Music Studios, located inside the beautiful Sylvia B. Williams Fountain City Arts Center, and is also a supporting member of Knoxville Classical Guitar and the Knoxville Classical Guitar Ensemble. In this episode, he'll introduce us to a remarkable instrument, a 21-string guitar, demonstrate what makes it such a unique instrument, and share his experience as a performer, as a composer, an educator, and a lifelong student of music. We'll also talk about his musical journey, his time in teaching in China, his recording projects, and the inspiration behind the music he creates today. Before we begin, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the organization this podcast supports. Knox Guitar Box is produced to benefit Knoxville Classical Guitar, an East Tennessee nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting classical and fingerstyle guitar through concerts, education, community outreach, and performance opportunities. Our upcoming concert season features an outstanding lineup of internationally recognized artists, including Gladius, Leonela Alejandro, Hao Yang, Virgil Barth, Gael Salah, along with an intimate artist circle series featuring Jess Kerber and Will Orchard, Laura Snowden, Goran Ivanovic, and an album release concert featuring yours truly. If you truly enjoy beautiful guitar music or simply believe the arts make our community stronger, I invite you to become a supporting member of Knoxville Classical Guitar. Memberships begin at just $10 per month, and it helps us present world-class artists, support musical education programs, and inspire the next generation of musicians. And wherever you're listening from, I hope you'll support your own local guitar society, music organization, or arts nonprofits. Attend concerts, become a member, volunteer your time, and if you're able, consider making a financial contribution. Organizations like these exist because people who love music choose to invest in them. And together we can ensure that the traditions of classical and fingerstyle guitar continue to thrive for generations to come. I'd also like to thank the Fountain City Arts Center for being such a wonderful creative space where we could record Knox Guitar Box. If you're in the Knoxville area or the surrounding areas, be sure to stop by and experience the current exhibit in the gallery. It's the Jerry's Artorama staff exhibit featuring outstanding work by the talented artists who serve the creative community every day. The exhibit will be on display for just 2 more weeks. Looking ahead, the Art Center's next exhibition will feature the works of local artist Alan Sibley. The exhibit is titled Out of My Mind, and we'll hope you'll come experience it. Now let's sit down with Jay Manley and explore one of the most fascinating guitars you'll ever see. Hey Jay, thanks for being here. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I know you're here a lot, but I appreciate you being here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna learn about your guitar here in a few minutes, but I wanted to kind of talk about you first, or get a little bit of information from you.
Sure, yeah.
About who you are, maybe your history and stuff. So tell us about your musical background.
Well, let's see. I was mostly self-taught on guitar. My mother taught piano, and she gave me a few piano lessons here and there. When I was born, about a month in, my family was moving from California to Baltimore, so our roots were in Gatlinburg. My parents' parents were there, so they whisked us off, and we lived at the parsonage in Gatlinburg because my grandfather on my mom's side was the minister of the First Baptist Church there in Gatlinburg. And so, I think I was there the first 6 months as a baby, and and he was very musical. He was a gospel singer too.
Your grandfather?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he could play like these cool old jazz tunes and 30s pop tunes and stuff. And yeah, it was pretty interesting. And he had a gospel album that he made, The Wayfaring Stranger, and he had copies pressed and
Well, I mean, what was he playing? What instrument?
vocal. And I got my first guitar. I think that there's a picture. I think it's at because we would go back and forth after we had moved. We'd come back to that parsonage for Christmas. But there's a Christmas picture with I think my first guitar, and I think it was like maybe late 71 or 72. I was like almost 2 years old, and I was in this like these little jammies, and I got this little guitar, and I had it sitting in my lap, left-handed, and so yeah, first guitar very early, but I think I just made noises on it for about 8 years, and broke every string off it, and it got gone, and then I broke the strings off of my parents' guitars. They had 2 guitars. And there was a dulcimer in the house too.
Okay.
I think it was made in Cosby.
A lap dulcimer?
Yep.
Okay, like an Appalachian dulcimer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I would pick it up. And the funny thing about a dulcimer is if you imagine a left-handed person picking it up, well, then you can play the courses, the high courses.
Yeah.
And you can strum it like I would pretend I was playing like a lute or something.
So when did I know you said you were young, like 2, playing a guitar, right? But
No, it's probably plinking it.
but when did it like connect for you?
Well, I think what was neat is starting that early and then ending up with a couple of nylon strings in the guitar with 1 or 2 strings. As I got closer, I think like 7 or 8 or 9, I would put on records and try to figure out stuff. One of them was the James Bond theme. I mean, that was just the thing. I wanted to learn that, but I would have to go scale wise up the string.
Yeah,
I didn't
because you didn't know how to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that was really valuable because a lot of times in guitar we learn it more chordally and we don't learn it melodically. So that's all I had was it's like da 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 da. So I think it helped in my spatial like interval sense or something.
So you said when you were younger, you had several strings like nylon strings.
Yeah.
So I had when I was 4, and I don't know how much I've shared this story, but this may be psychological to later in life, but when I was 4 years old, I played a concert with a Mickey Mouse guitar. And I think it was nylon string. I'm not even sure if it was 6 strings, but I played it. I was on stage just doing this, and I had no clue what I was doing. And it was in a small town in Georgia, but was that the type of guitar you had, like a nylon string toy guitar, or was
There's
it
a picture of it? It looks almost like it's a mini guitar, but I think at some point I had a Mickey Mouse guitar too.
No, maybe it was mine.
Maybe. I got it at the Goodwill or something.
Well, it's blue. Mine was blue. When did you start, like when you were working towards, you weren't working, you were playing guitar. When did you start recognizing good music, and who were your favorite? Like when you say, oh, I like that, and then going for it. I mean, that may have been young, but who?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. I mean, a big one for me, my older sister had a boyfriend that brought, an album home. They were like in middle school or high school or something, and he bought a Stray Cats record, and I was like, what is this? And that just blew my mind. He also, and then the next boyfriend brought home a U2 album, Boy, and that blew my mind.
Yeah.
And then he brought home Zenyatta Mandata by the Police.
Yeah.
And then I was, again.
Yeah.
So, I loved that stuff. And I would just stare at the picture of that Gretsch guitar that Brian Setzer had on the cover. And I thought I'll just never, nobody knew they would ever have anything like it because those were so rare at that day and age.
Yeah. The guitarists are dime a dozen, and then left-handed guitarists aren't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot of guitars made for left-handed players, or they do it, but it's just not a very common thing compared to guitars. And a lot of left-handed players play right-handed.
Yeah,
because of that. Actually, Bo Davis. Bo Davis teaches here too, and he's left-handed, but he plays right-handed.
Yeah.
And I know a few other people that do that as well.
Yeah. There just wasn't much choice. And also when you're young, you don't know. You just flip the strings around on whatever acoustic and I had an early Strat that I'd flip the strings around and sawed the nut with a butter knife. You just get by. But then I started getting more picky, and in my 20s, I gradually started getting things, and things became more available. I think in the 90s on, there was a lot more available.
I've always thought that left-handed players may have an advantage if they played right-handed because of the technical need in this hand.
Left-handed players have an advantage because they fancy themselves quite a bit. So.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that works. Yeah,
we think we're special.
Yeah, that works. So. And you are. Yeah.
And then in college, when I was working on my classical guitar degree, like a few months in, he's like, we might have you switch, but it'll be good because you won't have any bad habits. It was like, I'm going to ruminate on it. I'm going to call my colleagues. And so my instructor, he called a few people. What should I do with this kid? And they're like, oh, just let him play left-handed.
Yeah.
So I got out unscathed. But anyway,
I want you to know that, I appreciate you, being at the studio and in this building and doing the stuff here. This place just is so creative, and you fit right in. And as a leader here too, you do a great job with that. And I know your students love you. I'm sure they want to hear, like, was there a moment that you knew that you were going to do music forever?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Art was a big thing for me too. I almost majored in art. But I mean, even after I got out of college, I mean, don't know that I didn't feel like I had a music career. But you work on things and you do things, and the illusion is that it's linear, that life is linear, and that you're like heading towards, oh, I'm going to get signed, I'm going to be a famous artist, and you get all these weird ideas, and like it's never enough.
Yeah.
But it's actually going in all these other ways, and like you have off branches, and like you come back around, but now looking back from now, it's like, well, have I done things that an established artist would do? I can think of a few things that, well, yeah, I've done them, but I guess it is a career now. So.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a thing. Eventually, you moved overseas to teach too. So,
yep.
Were you teaching overseas? Is that how what was that about?
Yeah. My wife Jane really wanted to get an international experience teaching abroad. Her orchestra job was part-time, and it was possibly going to change in the new school year. So I was like, let's try to do this thing. And she was really going after it. And at one point she was at a job fair in, I think of the Midwest. And she was calling and saying, what about Latvia? Oh, okay. It's cold, but yeah, I could do Latvia. Like, okay, what about this place? And then the Mediterranean. Like, well, okay. And then nothing, it was like all these like irons in the fire.
Yeah.
And nothing of it panned out. And then like a few weeks later, the school NCPA, somebody called from China, and she had a Zoom interview, and off to the races we were, scaling things down, and we headed over there. It ended up being 5 years, but I was just gonna tag along and be the traveling spouse.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe I'll make a bunch of instructional YouTubes if I can even get out beyond the firewall of the VPN or something. I also had this idea that perhaps that I would jog around the park every day and walk, and I would meet a little old man that would become my friend, and he would maybe teach me kung fu or how to play like the Chinese lute or something.
Yeah, live into the experience.
Yeah, like this guy has nothing better to do than teach this guy.
Did that happen?
No.
No. You didn't learn kung fu. Did you play the lute? Yeah. So wait, so you went and you thought these are things you might do, but what did you end up doing?
Oh, I ended up getting hired by the school to do first AV and do like everything from fixing MacBooks, projectors, doing the sound for all. There was a lot of entertainment events the kids would do. Yeah. There was a lot of assemblies and concerts, and that was one job I got. And as that went along, I ended up in China helping purchase a whole new sound system for the theater, designing what it should be.
Okay.
That was cool. That was challenging and cool because like everything's in Chinese, and I had to take pictures of it or ask people like, what is it I'm ordering?
Yeah.
And they're going to install it all in the summer. Yeah. So that was really neat. And we had these big concerts and talent shows, but also I got hired for an additional job to be a teaching assistant to my wife, Jane, who was teaching choir, music technology, band, but they wanted me for the music tech, music technology. I had not taught classrooms, so that was a big challenge for me.
Yeah.
Other things that were nice about the experience in the school was that we had to do a lot of big meetings and workshops and presentations, and it really helped me with making presentations, speaking to a room, speaking to large audiences and stuff. You put a guitar on me, I'm fine. I can play for a few thousand people, but make me just talk about something, and I get a little nervous. But that really helped a lot.
Yeah.
And then we had noticed that somebody had been trying to make a studio there at some point. We could see evidence of it. There was like a glass between two big practice rooms, and somebody was making a control room. And so I asked the principal about it. I was like, what's going on? Oh, we tried that, but we didn't have the resources. I was like, do you want to do it again? And I got together with my manager of IT, and we did it under the umbrella of like the music department and the IT department. Like, let's figure out how we can make this happen, have a studio for the kids. It was an amazing studio by the time we got done with it.
Oh, cool.
And the kids could go after school, because it was a boarding school.
Yeah.
And they could do everything from really nice karaoke to, like, a few kids have rock bands. We put out singles and stuff they released in China.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And we did podcasts too.
Wow.
And I started like a ASA, after school activity, where they had like they were reading books and they were recording their dialogue, and it was all in Chinese.
Oh, wow.
So, and I had I'm going on about a lot, but it was really exciting.
Yeah.
I developed a little program for like an educational track where they could learn how to be engineers. So they would get, like, if they do a certain number of hours and learn how to mic up amps, how to set up a microphone of a drum set, how to do various things, how to operate Logic a little bit, then they could be a tape operator.
Yeah.
And then if they reach another level, then they would be engineer, and then the producer level is a third level, where you've done a lot of time in the studio and you know a lot of things, and you can be like, an adult can unlock the door, and you can be in there and you can lead the whole session if you want.
Okay.
And some of the kids
some responsibility with the technology.
Yeah,
it's really cool. That's cool.
And some of those kids are at like MI Music Institute, and they're working on their engineering degrees, audio engineering. Cool. So it's stuck.
It's nice to be able to contribute to that. Yeah. That's really cool. So it's a boarding school. Is it for elementary and middle, or how?
It was middle and high school.
Middle and high school.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
And
And I met Jane, your wife, Jane Francis, and shortly after you guys got back to the States, right? Yeah. So it was someone that we mutually know had suggested that we get in touch with each other, and she just kind of walked in one day. And long story short, I immediately signed a contract with Jane and then her husband, Jay. And I'm very glad that you're both here. And, you know, one of the beautiful things about the Fountain City Arts Center and LeGrand Music Studios, Flint Merrill Music, Knoxville Classical Guitar, is that this is just a hub of creativity. And you guys fit in and lead with that creativity so well that it's just continuing to grow and do things. And we're very thankful for that. All of us, students, instructors, and all, are great. So what do you think about it? How's it going? How's it going for you? Yeah,
it's going fantastic. You know, I mean, a lot of people use the buzzword community, but this place is community. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
a lot of art going on, a lot of music, a lot of connections are made here.
Yeah,
it's very cool.
Well, you know, and we talked about, you know, teaching here, and then also this, you know, there's just been a lot of growth. One of the things that's happened is we have an ensemble here. You know, Knoxville Classical Guitar which is a nonprofit that's housed here in the Fountain City Arts Center, and we meet, you know, 2 or 3 times a month to go over things. And currently there's, I think, 13, 14 people that are in the ensemble, which is great. And you know, the ensemble is open to all levels, so everything is tiered. If someone's a beginner at reading music, or even if they don't know how to read music, we have the tab, and then it goes up to more experienced players like yourself and some of the other players that are in the ensemble. And tell me about it. I mean, I just told you a little bit about it, but tell me about your experience with it.
Oh yeah, it's really wonderful. I think it's a really cool thing. I live in the neighborhood too, so it's just kind of neat how it's just even more of an extension of a way that I can be a part of something, the way I can serve too. Like, you know, if we didn't all come here and do it, then it wouldn't exist, right?
True. So, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So it's really nice, and getting to know people in the ensemble, and keeping my classical chops up, which
One of the things that I've noticed about the ensemble is just that I think we've been doing it about a year, maybe a year and a half,
I think
about
a
a
year
year
and a
and a
half,
half,
yeah.
yeah. And the level up, we work towards a goal and then it levels up and works towards goal. But as a group, just learning to play with other musicians and, I mean, we worked hard on a Vivaldi concerto last year, and now we're playing a Vivaldi, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is Vivaldi, and we're playing it, and it sounds really, really, really nice.
Mm.
Of course, now we're learning some other things. So what's been your favorite thing we've played? Are you going to say "Live and Let Die"?
You bet you thought I would. That's pretty cool. It is really cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But those dances are interesting, though. I
yeah.
like
The
their
Pretorius
quirky,
dances.
the
Yeah,
edge
yeah,
of Renaissance,
yeah,
Baroque.
yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still like working out. How do we do this?
Um, I appreciate you playing in that. I'm involved heavily with that, and then there's a community benefit to that. And then, our goal is to start a youth ensemble where we mentor the members of that ensemble, mentor the youth. And I think
Yeah.
everybody's been pretty much on board with that. Let's talk about this album.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love the title,
Hmm.
Tales of the Joy Thief and the Reluctant Accomplice.
Yeah.
I love the picture. You said you took it yourself.
Oh, well, I did have a photographer, but I
Oh,
did the design of all the
okay, cool.
jacket
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Like your shirt.
Thanks.
Really do. Yep.
That is gone now.
Yep. I like the art on the. Did you do this art too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yep. And the stuff. So tell me what this is. A songwriting album.
Yeah, I think so.
Is it?
It's a little bit of, there's some compositions too.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that piece for
Featuring you and this instrument here.
exactly, yeah.
Okay. All right.
The 21 string Stars Wide guitar. Yeah, there's some kind of quasi classical things on there. There's Bollywood dance music. There's all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
So
Well, production. I know we're gonna hear you play this in a few minutes, and I think it's gonna
Yeah.
be great. But production time with this. I know you had other instruments and all. Was it a quick turnaround, small turnaround, or short turnaround, or how did
trying to
that?
think of how long I spent on it because I had a nice home studio and nice gear, so I would just work on it from time to time,
Yeah.
and then wrangling different players. Had a couple of different drummers, Doug Edmonds, who is a great friend of mine, a fantastic drummer, and Matt Voorhees as well. Matt Voorhees he's located in Raleigh, and Doug is in Hillsborough, North Carolina. And Matt also played vibraphone on a tune, and I had
And you said he played dobro as well, right? Did
no,
you say dobro?
no,
Just vibraphone. Okay.
yeah, vibraphone, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And Angelica Rogers, who I believe is in New York now, she played trumpet and arranged this elaborate, cool trumpet part on the song "Maybe." So I just love hearing that. It's like it's very interesting what she did with it. I like took it like in this Miles Davis place or something.
Oh, cool, cool. Yeah. Well, we have this. This is streaming everywhere, and then we also have this for sale here at the Fountain City Art Center. As we do, several other instructors who teach here music have their album as well. We have several of Jay and Jane's album over there as well. Actually, just yours, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, we've got we had a band, my wife and I, Jane, called Velvet for a number of years, and we have 3 releases, and we've got 2
You
of
got
them
you got
here.
them over there. Okay,
Yeah.
great, cool.
Yeah,
That's cool.
we were the greatest band that ever was.
I bet. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that you were the greatest band there ever was. Yeah, Velvet. Right. Yeah, that's great. Okay, well let's hear this thing.
Yeah.
We'll move back to the conversation with Jay in just a few moments. Now I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about our next episode, where we'll chat with Brian Paris of Paris Guitars. Brian and his team provide service to the musical community of East Tennessee and beyond by blending advanced technology with old world craftsmanship to create inspiring and great playing instruments. So make sure to tune in 2 weeks. I'd also like to take a few moments to recognize the organizations that help make this podcast possible. Their support brings conversations like today's to guitar enthusiasts throughout East Tennessee and beyond. Knox Guitar Box is made possible in part through the support of LeGrand Music Studios, proudly serving the Knoxville community since the turn of the century. Whether you're just beginning your musical journey, Preparing for college auditions or desire to level up your skills, LeGrand Music Studios offers one of the most diverse and experienced music faculties in East Tennessee. Each instructor is an active professional musician, bringing real-world performance experience to every lesson. From singer-songwriters to touring artists to jazz musicians and rock performers and classical guitarists, students learn from musicians who are actively performing and creating music. LeGrand offers private instruction in guitar, piano, violin, voice, bass, ukulele, cello, woodwinds, horns, and other instruments for all students and all ages and all experience levels. Learn more at legrandmusic.org. Knox Guitar Box is also sponsored by Flint Merrill Music, Knoxville's guitar company. Flint Merrill Music focuses on quality, affordable instruments designed for music education and ease of playing. Today's featured instrument is the Flint Merrill One Flex, a comfortable 7/8 size nylon string guitar that bridges the gap between a full-size classical and smaller student models. It's ideal for older beginners, teens, and adults, and everyone who appreciates a more comfortable playing experience. At just $389, the Flint Merrill One Flex delivers exceptional value while offering the tone and playability students need as they grow. Learn more at flintmerrillmusic.com. And also FMX, who partners with music studios, independent instructors, retailers, music stores, artists, and arts organizations to help them grow. Whether you're looking to expand your lesson program or add retail sales, strengthen your marketing and branding, or improve your operations, FMX provides practical solutions built specifically for music businesses. Learn more at fmxhq.com. Thank you to all of our partners and supporters for helping make Knox Guitar Box possible. If you'd like to learn more about any of the organizations featured today, you'll find links in the episode description. Now back to our conversation with Jay. So this is the guitar that you made this album with that we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
Okay, so what is this?
It's a 21-string guitar. I call it the Saraswati guitar because it was influenced by an Indian instrument called the Saraswati Veena, as well as the sitar. Okay. It was made by Wes Lamb. We both worked together on it. He's an instrument designer and builder, and he does things like this already that are fan fret multi-string guitars.
Where is Wes located?
He's in Hillsborough, North Carolina.
Oh, North Carolina. Yeah. Okay, cool.
And so he had some things that are very similar to this without the extra, the harp strings and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I came to him and said, "Can we make something, collaborate on something, but with your design?" And
I mean, it's beautiful. What's the wood?
It's mahogany.
Okay.
And a funny kind of thing was I had this giant spreadsheet I was gathering ideas with, and I think it was like around, probably like, I'm trying to think, I think around 2007, something like that I started sketching ideas and getting ideas of what I wanted to do, and I had all these ideas about what type of wood or what I wanted to do, and I wanted to sound sort of like a sitar, but not a sitar. And the reason being is I was studying the sitar and I'm a left-handed player, but I was playing it right-handed, and it was really fun and interesting. But I kept thinking, this is neat, but I kind of want to make a guitar that can do some of these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that's ever done that. I mean, it became really popular in the late 70s to design different types of Indian classical sitar-inspired guitars. I mean, there's multiple designs.
And this has fanned frets, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, both directions, actually. It looks like it's fanned up here going this way and fanned down here going this way.
Yeah, so what that does is I think it's about 23 inches for the high E. And it's tuned fairly standard, believe it or not. There's your standard tuning, and then you get to the seventh string, and I typically tune it to a low A.
Okay.
So by the time you get to the scale length of the thickest string, it's probably about 26 and a half, maybe even 27. I don't remember offhand, but it's quite a bit longer, so you get a crispness out of these lower notes.
Versus them being muddy?
Yeah.
I mean, because the strings would be looser, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, you get enough speaking length so that you can do goofy things like that down there.
Cool. Cool.
But the shorter scale length on the top makes that E real sweet and real easy to bend. like to do bends kind of like that on some of my other guitars anyway, but it's a lot easier on this one.
Because the scale length is shorter.
Yeah, so I can do things.
Cool.
And then that little thing there is a common practice in sitar playing where the note is kind of like bouncing along like. So if they do, actually here it is. The fun thing about the spreadsheet was I gave it to Wes and he's like, oh boy, bless your heart. He said, some of these things totally contradict each other, but we can try, you know, so I had ideas like, oh, I wanted it to be really woody sounding, but I want like it might have said like maple or something. It's like, well, if you wanted to be really woody, you probably might want to go with mahogany. So we ended up doing all mahogany. Yeah.
So what are these two strings that are above the 7 strings there? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is an idea borrowed from Indian classical instruments like the sitar and sarod. They're called chikari strings, and they're, I guess in a way the banjo has a similar thing.
Yeah.
So a higher pitched note for accompaniment, percussive accompaniment. So I usually have it tuned to perfect fifth. And of course, so we have this extra thing. This is very influenced by the Picasso guitar that Linda Manzer made for Pat Metheny. So his has like 5 or 6 of these all over the place. But that's a way to try to incorporate some kind of sympathetic strings.
So what size are those strings up there? I think we talked about that a little bit yesterday, but what's
I think I've got maybe a couple of 8s and like all 9s.
Okay.
It might be 110.
And the 2 strings below that, or?
I don't remember. I think I've got like a 9 and a 10 or something like that.
So for a little diversity?
Yeah, just so that it's taut enough that it doesn't go boing, but it has a nice clear note. And then this little guy here is a Jawari bridge, and it is what is the smaller bridge on a sitar for the sympathetic strings. And there's a parabolic curve so that the strings, as it vibrates, it rattles against that bone, and that's what gets that little zero kind of thing.
Cool.
And so does it do it? A little bit. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. And it has a piezo pickup built into it, like carved into it there.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we've got Kent Armstrong handmade Filtertron pickups, because some of the guitar folks might notice this has a little bit of a Gretsch Country Gentleman look to it. And that's a nod to George Harrison, who is like the Beatle that we tend to associate with, the one that studied Hindustani classical music with Ravi Shankar for a little while there. So,
and you're a composer, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of that a little later on too. But you know, I know you've been talking about some of the Indian stuff that you've studied and worked with, but from a standpoint of, for lack of a better way of saying it, compositions for the Western ear, what has this done for that?
Yeah, I'd say there's some neat things, like there's some tunes I do on different guitars. I have a little bossa nova song I've written called Vivo, and I do that sometimes on a requinto, sometimes on an electric, sometimes on this, and I've performed it on this guitar too, and on a regular guitar I'm going, but in this case I could go
bass.
I can get a lower note in there instead of So it gives a lot more movement that you can do.
It's a really clean sound too. So nice.
I've also tried to realize that I don't have to play all 7 strings at once. I have some where I strum and do that, but it can be really effective to have a spread out thing where you've got just 3 tones, but they've got a little more space, like piano-like.
Yeah.
I think that.
Or they're different registers.
Yeah, and then also for notating some of the stuff I've done, my first inclination was to have a bass clef for the low string, and then a percussion line for the chikari strings. so that I could document what it does.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that kind of works.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you have to get kind of, you have to be creative with that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I probably could have just had tons of ledger lines, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a lot of ledger lines.
Yeah. You're
So,
like, every
that's
good
cool.
boy does
Cool.
what?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 That's cool. I like that. Yeah. And you songwrite too, and you've used this for some of your songwriting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's a songwriting album.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to do. This was 2015 I released this. I recorded it all myself. And we did have a pretty nice home studio at the time, so we weren't just slumming it.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people see that too.
Yeah. And
So Tales of the Joy Thief and Reluctant Accomplice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I remember that year, Fiona Apple had an album called "When the Pawn," yada da 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 da, and I was like, I would like to have a title like that.
That's cool. That's very, very cool.
But yeah, in recording, I think it was all this twin. There might have been a couple where I played a car Rambler as well, which are handmade in Pittsburgh, North Carolina, where I did a lot of work for a long time. But a lot of it was the twin, and I ended up using about 6 microphones. So a couple of close dynamic microphones, a couple of condenser pair a few feet away, kick drum mic behind it, because there's like all this bass that comes out of a twin combo, and then a room mic that was like 10 or 12 feet up, and a vaulted ceiling pointing down, looking at it. So
okay, so you had the ground covered.
Yeah.
Covered,
It kind of created like the sense of that you're there with the amp, which is cool.
Yeah.
Because there was not a lot of overdubs. This wasn't about like this needs to be like a lead track or a rhythm track with a bunch of drums and other stuff. It needs to be vivid in 3D, you know?
Yeah.
And using 1 or 2 mics just wasn't getting it.
Cool.
But the other element of it that people you would not know from just buying it or listening to it is that it's really all this guitar and very little overdubs. I mean, there's the idea is that there's this guitar and then sometimes like a percussion element.
Yeah.
So one of the songs has a tablaist.
Okay.
Another one has 2 or 3 have a drummer friend of mine that was phenomenal, and he also played the vibraphone. I had a guest trumpeter and a guest violinist on the record too.
Okay.
And then there was some vocals in some of the tunes. I did some vocal overdubs. I did a little bit of synthesizer, but not much, because I didn't want people to think, oh, I'm just hearing a synth.
Right. Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's this stuff that's happening, or this gets droning and it sounds like a synth pad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun, and it's tons of different genres, but it's all this instrument. So there's everything from the first piece is sounds like a very reflective kind of classical guitar meets electric guitar piece with a little bit Indian influence to it. And then the second one sounds like a rocker, you know, so there's jazz songs, rock songs, there's like some Bollywood sounding stuff on there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Cool. That's what's got a little bit of everything on this album.
Yeah.
With that guitar.
Yeah.
And additional instruments. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And we have this here. Well, you sell it on, it's streaming too, right? Or is it not? Yeah, it's streaming. Yeah. But it's also, the actual CD is for sale here at the Fountain City Arts Center, Flint Merrill Music, right? Yeah. Cool.
Indeed, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, you want to play something for us?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I'll take a stab at the 4 Reflections here. That's the first cut.
Okay.
So.
Sweet. That's really nice. Thanks for
Thanks.
playing that. What's that called again?
4 Reflections.
Four
Reflections. Because
okay. And that's actually the piece of sheet music you showed me there.
Indeed, yeah. So it's kind of it's a theme of variations, I think, for doing things. And that's a neat thing that happens there too. If I do the kind of tapping, it'll hit the sympathetics. So hopefully they're in tune, right? And you can get those to do lots of neat things. So I had a lot of fun with that little progression. I like the way that it looks and what it does. So that was a fun thing. And then that's a song called Back in Time. And it also has a little another part that goes like a. Yeah, so that's another element there too.
Cool, and I can kind of hear you mentioned the Gretsch Country Gentleman. I can kind of hear that in those pickups there for sure. It's nice. Very, very nice.
Then there's a tune I can do and retune these a little bit. It's a natural minor. Reach around here. And then they all kind of relax, and then I have to kind of fiddle with them all. Yeah, and sometimes I use a very thin pick on some of this stuff. Depending on the nail length, it makes it a lot brighter, so I can do some kind of chord things. So I have a tune called Maybe that I had Angelica Rogers play trumpet on, and she actually did a lot of interesting arrangement and overdubs with the trumpet all in one day. She said, roll it again, I want to add a layer. She started adding all these cool things that gave it a lot of validity. It was really neat sounding, so that's fun. But it's got this kind of washy sort of thing going on with it. And it's sort of a 9/8 at times, so I have this.
And you hear that bass part, being very independent there too, which is really cool. That's nice. I guess the 7th string really adds for that too. So it's a good thing. So.
Yeah, it can do little bassy things. So. But yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, cool. Well, thank you for showing us that.
Yeah,
it's really cool. I like the instrument a lot.
Thank you.
And it's got some just really, not only is the tone great, but just the ability to do multiple things, and in the hands of someone like yourself, that's really fantastic. So
thank you.
That's good. Yeah,
I think it's changed over the years. I mean, it was I finally got it about sometime in late 2008, And yeah, it's gotten brighter, I think, over time.
Cool.
Because I used to do pretty long nails to keep it from getting muddy, but I'm just like flesh right now, and it's still pretty bright.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you mentioned before you started playing, we were talking about the strings, and you mentioned that you have a custom set on there.
Yeah.
Outside of the 9s and 10s, and I'm not sure that may even be, but you brought this pack of string joys in.
Yeah.
And of course we carry string joy here at the studio. Not this custom set, but we could if people wanted a 7-string set. But it's the custom, your custom.
It is.
It is your custom. So this is the Jay Manley String Joy Signature Nickel Wound Customs, right?
That's right.
What it is?
Well,
Okay.
you can go on the site and you can with a widget you can dial in like exactly what gauges
cool.
you want.
Yeah, cool.
So it's really handy.
Yeah, we carry all sorts of strings here, but we like this company because they're as local as you can get for strings. So you've been pleased with them on that guitar. They sound fantastic.
Yeah, they've been great, and which is nice. And I went down a gauge from what I used to do. I used to have it more like almost like 11s, but a little lighter just to make it a little, because there's a lot of tension going on.
Yeah, particularly in the lower ones, right?
Yeah, I think that brightened it up a little bit too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Very cool.
But yeah, it needs to be. If it's not a 74 on that low one, it doesn't sound right to me. So,
what does it sound like?
It gets muddy if it's if I tried like a 68, a 70. It's just not quite, because it's like a bass string on a guitar. But yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
that's great. Well, that's cool. I mean, it sounds fantastic. So
thank you
for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for being here, Jay. I appreciate you coming in. It's great to talk with you and hear your music.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you all for your support, for listening and watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks when we chat with Brian Paris of Paris Guitars about his service to the music community of East Tennessee. Until next time, play on.